Hey y'all, I'm back. Every time I make another video, I'm just so proud of myself because wow, I am really doing it. Like, I really have a YouTube channel. That's crazy to me. But anyway, I want to talk today about my CABO trip and how much it costs. I've had a lot of people actually ask me, like, how much did the resort cost? How much was the whole trip? And it's kind of hard to say down to the dollar because some things I paid for, some things I didn't. But I'm going to try to give y'all like a ballpark estimate of how much the total trip was. So we'll start with the beginning. When it comes to planning a trip, it is booking that flight. Now, I will say, we booked our flights super last minute, and I mean like maybe like a month or two before we actually left. So we went to CABO in February. By the time I post this, it'll be March, but we went to CABO in February, and I want to say we booked our flights sometime in December, maybe early January. So that was already a no. And then also what made our flight so expensive is that we did not fly out of a major airport. So we live near Greensboro. So normally when we fly somewhere, we fly to Charlotte or Raleigh because the prices are usually cheaper. But this particular time, the flights worked better for us when we flew out of Greensboro. So even though it was a little bit more, actually it might have been cheaper. I don't know. I don't remember. Long story short, we decided to fly out of Greensboro Airport. So our flight was from Greensboro to Atlanta to CABO. So we did have a layover both going and coming back. Total price for our flight was $508. Anyway, now is on to the resort. This was another thing that we did last minute. I don't know why we were so last minute with this trip. I really have no clue. But you know, life be happening and you just be forgetting to do stuff. So the resort that we stayed at was the RIU Santa Fe. And it just so happens that maybe like 4 days after we booked, they sold out of the rooms. So I was like, hoochly. So glad we booked when we did, because I would have been pissed if we could not have stayed there, because that's where everyone in the birthday party, what is it called? In the birthday party crew, that's where we were all supposed to be staying. So RIU Santa Fe for 4 days and 3 nights. That was a Thursday through Sunday. It was a total of $871. We stayed in the RIU party room. So it came with 2 of the cups, 2 of the bags, 2 of the waterproof phone cases. It also had drink dispensers. So I don't know why I didn't take a picture of that, but I'm gonna find a picture. I know somebody took it. And it had like a bottle of tequila, a bottle of vodka, a bottle of gin, and a bottle of, I want to say, rum. And it was like a dispenser. Like, you could literally put your cup under it and fill it up, and they would refill it for free. All of that was included in the room. So I really did love the room. The view was kind of trash. Other than that, I really did enjoy the resort. So I would recommend staying there. There was somebody that died while we were there, and I don't like that they just kind of never mentioned it. Like, I feel like they could have at least addressed it, because all of us staying on the resort, we're like, what is happening? How did this man die? Why do I see somebody's feet underneath the white sheet? Seen it with my own eyes. But that's neither here nor there. So we decided that we were going to do tequila tasting. So we ended up buying the tickets through Viator, which is like an online platform that has a lot of tickets and stuff to different activities and events. So the tequila tasting was $36 per person, which I think is really reasonable, especially given that it was a really informative event, but it was also really fun. And that was probably one of my favorite parts of the trip. Now, when it comes to excursions, of course, we had a group, so we kind of had to go by what everybody was comfortable doing, but then also what the birthday girl chose. So initially we were weighing our options with booking the excursions through the hotel, but it was actually a lot cheaper to book the excursions through some people that were like on the beach. If you watch the video, my man Tony Baloney, he really hooked us up. So what we did was a combination of an ATV ride and like a yacht ride. So that was $125 per person. I think there was another fee. Like, first of all, there was a lot of fees. It was a fee for insurance. It was a fee to get into the park. It was a fee if it was more than, you know, one person riding on the ATV. It was a lot, but it was around $125 per person. all together, and that was for the ATV and the yacht ride. So I do want to clarify that that was for two different things. All that was included with the ATV ride was the 1 hour ride, came with a helmet, came with like goggles and glasses, but what it does not come with is like the protective bandanas or scarves or whatever that go over your face. So they do have a place where you can buy those. So if you plan on going ATV riding, do not forget a bandana, because I feel like every single time I rode ATVs, I forget and I end up having to spend $10 on something I already have at the crib. So then after that, we went to, actually Tequila Tasting was included in that as well, but we didn't get to do it because we was running late. So the yacht ride came with a bottle of Don Julio, and like mixers, cups, all that stuff was included. So we didn't have to buy any additional alcohol or anything. What we did have to buy was some snacks, because going from traveling to the park where we rode ATVs, to doing that for an hour, then to traveling to the marina, then to being on the yacht for an hour, I was starving. Okay, I was hungry. So please eat before you do that. If you decide to do any sort of setup where it goes from one activity into the next and ain't no time to eat in between, make sure you eat before you go, because I did not do that. So then the other excursion that I did with my boyfriend, that was just the two of us, was jet skis. And that was, what did he say it was? I think it was $40 per person. I ain't pay for it. But that was without the picture package. I think to add pictures at the end was like $50 total. So I mean, if you did the jet skis with the picture package, you'd be paying like $65. So the resort has a shuttle that will pick you up from the airport and also take you back to the airport. What I didn't know is that it had to be booked within a week of you leaving for your trip. So when we got to the airport and we got to the part where, you know, the area where everybody gets picked up, they're like, oh, well, your name's not on the list. Like, they literally would not let us ride, even though we were staying at the resort, because we did not register. So we ended up paying for a shuttle service to take us to the resort. It was $17. It was shared with other people, but it was like a shuttle van. So it was maybe 8 people on there. And the resort is 45 minutes from the airport. So it was a 45-minute ride. And I think that was with dropping off 2 people. So it was very price effective, very cost effective. Do not let them people finesse y'all, because there was people out there saying, oh, well, yeah, we can do the private shuttle service. It's $80-something or $100-something. And we're like, no, where's the cheap one? Because that's what we need. And then on the way back to the airport, I wanted to get there really, really early just to make sure there was no mess, because this was my first time in Mexico, so I didn't really know how the process would be to get out. So we ended up just taking an Uber, and that was, I think, $35. So of course, throughout our time during this trip, we took Uber rides and Lyft rides to different things, but because there were a group of us, like, everybody was paying for stuff, so I didn't really incorporate that into the price. But as far as for what I paid, here's what it is. So my half of the resort was $435.50. Let me move to the side so I can put that right there. My flight was $508. My yacht / ATV ride, even though I didn't pay for it, $125. Tequila tasting, $36. Jet skis, even though I ain't pay for it, $40. The shuttle to the airport, I did pay for that, $17. And then even though I didn't pay for the Uber back to the airport, that was $35. So altogether, it was $11.96 for the entire trip. Now, if you deduct the Uber that I didn't pay for, it's $11.61. You could deduct the jet skis and the ATV ride. Actually, let me do that real quick. Okay, so I actually ended up paying $996, and then I could add maybe another $40 or $50 to that for, I did pay for the jet ski pictures, and then I did buy a couple things while I was there, like souvenirs, and then also I think I paid for an Uber from when we left the yacht ride. So maybe you can add like another $60, $70 to that. So $996, let's just add $70. So I spent about $1,000 $1,066. And I think that's pretty reasonable because this is February. If you have ever stayed at the RIU Santa Fe, if you've ever stayed at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico, or you've ever been to Mexico and have done excursions and all that, let me know how much you paid. And also, if not, or even if you have, let me know what you think about that price. $1,066 for 4 days and 3 nights at an all-inclusive resort, and that's including excursions. I think it's a good deal, but let me know your thoughts in the comments.